Hi, I'm Jerry from PressureWasher.net. I'm going to talk about getting a blower unstuck. If it didn't get lubricated, if it didn't get protected, they can get stuck. And how do you get it unstuck is the thing. When the customer calls me up and says, "Hey, I haven't used my my vacuum in a couple of weeks, and when I go to turn it over, it doesn't turn over. What do I do?" Well, my first question is, did you read the instructions and did you lubricate it every week since you decided you were going to store it? Or if you used, these things are sucking up wet air. I mean, you're sucking up water with a vacuuming surface cleaner, you're sucking up water with a puddle sucker or whatever, and all that moisture is going through the, we hope that all the water gets trapped in the auto pump out tank. We hope that water isn't pumping out of the blower, but if the pump out didn't get taken care of or whatever, you end up with some water going through your blower. Or if you're hitting the back of a restaurant and the guy that used the mop bucket last had triple strength soap and it's making all the foam coming in, and you're sucking up water and the foam ends up getting sucked in and blown out the blower. The foam is a degreaser that wants to cause the blower to rust up even faster. So between the moisture and the soap suds that these things are going to take once in a while, reading all of the instructions is what is supposed to happen. And back here after the warnings, I got to put the warnings first, but back here in the middle section it says you've got to lube that blower and here's how to do it. Well, if you didn't lube that blower with WD-40 down its throat after every day of use, or every week if it's going to sit through the wintertime, fire it up at an idle, spray it, just once a week. It's all it takes to protect these things. You have to displace the moisture. But if you didn't do it, here's what you got to do. Okay, so you make access. Let's say the manifold is on top of here. You take the hose loose that connects this to your waste tank or whatever, and you got your belts all connected, and it's set up to run. So the idea is to get access to the inside of the blower. And these things have two big cast iron paddles that move inside here, and the clearance between them is only 1/1000th of an inch. So it takes like no rust to get these things to bind up. So what you got to do is open up the manifold, take out one of the fittings, or take the manifold off, whatever you got to do, and take some rust penetrant. I prefer liquid wrench rust penetrant. This PV blaster penetrant works fine. I'm just saying the other one works better, but give it a good 30-second spray down its throat, okay? A good 30 seconds of spray. That will make a puddle up against the paddles inside here. And what you do, even if this thing is still connected to to an engine with belts, you don't have to undo them. The idea is to take masking tape or electrical tape, put it on the outside of the pulley like this, a good 3 or 4 wraps, so that you're protecting the edge of the pulley as much as possible. And assuming that those belts are still in the way, you can only grab a hold of the edge of this thing, but get a good 16-inch pair of channel locks, whatever you got to do. Grab a hold of this thing, get a really good grip on it. Don't let it slip any more than it is gonna. So just get it on there real nice and snug, and the tape is going to allow you to not make as big of grooves in the pulley, so maybe you don't have to do any repairs. And the idea is to just rock this thing back and forth. As soon as you can get it to move, it'll chew up that rust that's inside there. If you have to, rock it back and forth, every 30 minutes for the next 3 hours, at least you're not going to have to replace a $2,000 blower. The rust penetrant will chew up the rust. Rocking this thing back and forth is going to break up that rust, and it's going to spit it through. It's going to work. It's going to be okay. Even if the thing's been sitting for a couple of months, even if it had soapy water go through it last week and you brought it out and now it doesn't want to turn over, okay, at least getting back in there with some rust penetrant is going to save the day. Just be careful with the pulley so you don't have to end up coming back with a file to keep it from chewing up belts. You don't want to chew up the pulley any more than necessary. Let the tool do its job. Okay, the penetrant works really good, so let it do its thing. Give it some time. Be patient.
If you're impatient, you're going to do more damage to the pulley. If you're impatient, well, you might waste some temper. So be patient with your maintenance program. Take better care of these things, and guess what? You don't have to go find some rust penetrant. That's a tool that needs to be in your truck at all times. Otherwise, just spraying these things with the rust penetrant is fine. After you get this all done, go back to the operating instructions and the warning sheets. We can text them to you if you need them, email them to you, whatever. We want you to have them. I don't care if you bought this thing from somebody else. I'm still going to supply you with whatever it takes to manage one of our systems. So if you buy a used system and you didn't get any operating instructions with it, call us at pressurewasher.net and we'll get these to you in an email, or I can text them to you if I have to, if you're in a hurry. The rapid elimination of downtime is about having a long-term plan and a maintenance program that is a program. So let's get that program going if you haven't already done it. If this was an anomaly that you've got your blower stuck, okay, it happens. If you don't have a maintenance program and this could possibly happen again, then guess what? You'll be right in the program right now. So call us if you need us. Pressurewasher.net is where you find the rapid elimination of downtime.